Hey babes, welcome to Formula One chat. I'm gonna be talking about the Sao Paulo Grand Prix in Brazil. So it was pretty fun, and let's get right into it then. Just kidding, not right into it because I need to put headphones on. Hold on. Okay. Hold on, I'm dumb. I'm stupid.
Ahead of us here in Interlagos.
I feel so bad. So bad for K-Mag. My dude literally said, alright, I'm putting it on pole for the sprint race. Sprint race, still get a point for the weekend, P8, starting the actual race P8, and then Daniel Ricciardo happened. And yeah, bro, I feel so bad. I'm so excited for him. I don't really support Haas most of the time, but I was like, yeah, the one time I'm gonna get behind the American team and be really excited about it because K-Mag did really well. Like, will he win the race? No, but he put on pole for the sprint race. Obviously, he's gonna lose positions, but like, he could still probably get points for the actual race too. He got the last point for the sprint. He can probably get points for the actual race, and then he doesn't even make it a full lap. No, this sprint race was hype. I don't know what you're talking about, Sunsolars. This track, having a sprint race here was good. It was fun. It was exciting. I was engaged. The sprint was probably his best shot for points. Yeah, but come on, we can. It was possible. I'm not saying it would have happened, but it was possible for him. It was potentially possible. Lance got a point. If Lance can get a point, K-Mag could get a point. I'm saying that as very much a Lance enjoyer. I love Lance. But if he could get a point, K-Mag could get a point. I'm just saying. Just saying.
Point of view.
Well, he couldn't because he isn't in the race anymore. I love K-Mag just just standing there, just hanging out. So Max and Hamilton touched. Yeah, that was I'm just playing with my hat, don't mind me. Um I'm not surprised that it happened. Like, I saw it when they were racing. I was like, oh man, something's gonna happen. It's actually, if you ask me, it's pretty similar to the Max Ocon Brazil 2018. I hate bringing it up because I'm an Ocon fan, but it's kind of similar to that if you ask me. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I think it was a racing incident. I'll say that. I think it was a racing incident. Land. Oh, bruh. Bruh. Lando. I think it was a racing incident. I know Lewis doesn't. You can't see it, huh? I know Lewis doesn't think it was a racing incident. But I do. Personally. I thought it was a racing incident. I'm standing by that. I don't think Max was at fault. It happens, you know, it happens on restarts. I'm standing by what I'm saying, and if you disagree with me, you can tell me, but I'm not changing my mind. I think this was more clearly Lando's fault than the other incident was Max's fault. I do not think Max should have gotten the 5-second penalty, but he did, and we'll leave it at that. It's not my job to decide whether or not drivers get a penalty. You should try to make that your job. No, I'd be terrible. I'm so biased. So biased. It's really hard to not be biased when I'm like, yeah, it doesn't matter. But I'm very biased. Not with Max and Lewis. Not biased against either of them. I'm a Max fan. I think Lewis is a great driver. I think Lewis is very talented. But I'm not biased either way. If there's an incident between the two, I'm not more likely to be swayed one way or another. But let's say it was like Lance Stroll. Lance can do no wrong. I know he does a lot of wrong, and I know that a lot of the things are his fault, but I'd be like, I didn't see it. Where was it? Sorry, my eyes must have been closed. I didn't see it. Um, 10 seconds to change the front wing. That's pretty quick. The Red Bull team remembered to drink their Red Bulls before this race. No thoughts on Lance in the sprint? Where? I didn't see it. My eyes must have known. Yeah, that was obviously Lance's fault. Yeah. Lando's out of the race, both McLarens out, which is really great for Alpine, honestly. I don't like George Russell. I don't feel strongly about George Russell. Good for him for winning, like, GG's. He's not human. You can't convince me he's not a wax figure. F1 manager, George Russell looks more like George Russell than George Russell does. It's really weird. But good job on his first win. Mercedes won too. Ayo. Just want some music to listen to while I talk about the sprint race. And then we can talk about the race. I'm not gonna like go into super detail about the sprint race. I'll put on music while I'm saying this. Won't go into super detail about the sprint race, just a little chitty chat about the sprint race. Some notable things. K-Mag got the final point. George Russell won the sprint race. Cool. The Mercedes started the race 1-2, and yeah, the whole Ocon Alonso stuff. Here's what I have to say about the Ocon Alonso stuff, and I am not just saying that because I am an Ocon fan. People were saying that he's like the worst person in the world because it was his teammate. If it wasn't his teammate, it would have been okay. By the rules standard, Ocon did nothing wrong. Alonso did get a penalty for on the straight running into his teammate. So Alonso got a penalty for that. Do I think Ocon should have given Alonso more space? Yes, because it was his teammate. Do I think he should have? Sure. But he didn't. Do I think he was in the wrong for not doing it? No. I don't think he's the worst person ever. I don't think he... Whatever Alonso fans are saying, I don't think he deserves all the abuse he's getting for that. Could he have given him more space because it was his teammate? Yeah. I mean, it's a team sport at the end of the day, but also Ocon did his race. If it wasn't his teammate, nobody would be saying anything bad about him. They would have been like, oh yeah, that's hard racing. But, you know, it's his teammate, so people are like, that's terrible. He's the worst person in the world. He should die, you know? People are literally... I don't understand why Ocon gets so much hate. It was... Yeah, I mean... Do I think he should have played the team game? Yes, sure, yeah, of course. Do I think it makes him terrible? The worst? No. Lance Stroll. Baby boy Lance. I love him. Okay, so Lance definitely deserved that penalty. I loved Vettel's radio. Okay. Like, I think part of the reason people are so extreme with it is because with certain drivers, like, say Alonso, for example, he's very vocal on the radio about how he feels his teammate is in the wrong. So fans of Alonso, which he has a lot of, because, yeah, he's won championships, he's a good driver. He has a lot of fans. They're like, oh, he feels really strongly about this, you know? So people see it more than, like, someone being like, oh, okay, like, not being, like, yelling about it on the radio and talking to the team about it later, or talking to their teammate about it later. So, I think that's part of it. Sprint race was pretty exciting. But, yeah, I don't want to talk too much about it because I have stuff to talk about the race, and I don't want to just talk forever. I don't blame Drive to Survive for that at all, because there are tweets from, like, 2011 of people just... 2011, 2013, like, a bunch of years before Drive to Survive was a thing. People being so venomous online toward certain drivers. Like, it's insane. It's been like, it has been like this for so long. Drive to Survive has not created this. Drive to Survive has not created this. It's always been around. It's always been around. At least in social media, people have always been that toxic. I agree, Zhou is good. I was gonna mention this, because it was mentioned before. I think Zhou is a good driver. I think he deserves a spot in F1. Latifi absolutely does not deserve a spot in F1. I think Lance deserves his spot in F1. Ocon deserves his spot in F1. Latifi, not so much. I think Drive to Survive has made more people aware of the sport and watch the sport and keep tabs of it online, which has definitely made more toxic people join the conversation. But I don't think it's created this dialogue. I think if Drive to Survive happened and people just happened to go on the internet and didn't see all the negativity that was already there, it wouldn't have been as much. If there weren't already toxic fans who feed into it, toxic fans from Drive to Survive wouldn't have stayed in the fandom, you know? I can take Zhou seriously because he is a good driver. I don't think that's a hot take. I think he is performing well enough. Oop, sorry, that was my nails on my microphone. I was gonna mute for a second because I have to cough. To clarify, Latifi's time to go has come. Yeah, exactly. I don't think he needs... Yeah, no. Like, giving him hate, like, whatever. Sure. He doesn't deserve to be in the sport, but I don't think he should be threatened or, like, he shouldn't get the amount of hate that he does. But, like, for people to be like, wow, he's not a good driver, get him out, like, yeah, I've been saying that, you know? A lot of us have been saying that. I don't think that's too far, but, like, when it comes to, like, actually threatening someone who's a driver, who's just simply doing their job and driving, that's definitely a bit much. But yeah, let's talk about each team and what I think about the race. Mercedes, I'm surprised Mercedes was like, yeah, you guys can fight. I'm not sure they would have done the same if Lewis was ahead, because they would have wanted to keep Lewis having that record of winning in every season he's been in, a race in every season he's been in F1. I'm putting chapstick on, so ignore that. Dry lips because it's winter. But yeah, good for George Russell. He has his first F1 win. I know a lot of George Russell fans, and I know they're really happy about it. I feel pretty neutral about it. I mean, it's cool that there's a new F1 winner. But yeah, he's there. He won. Good job. Like, yay, I guess. But I don't care that much. Mercedes won too is really cool though. That's pretty fun. It is Mercedes' first win of the season, which is also pretty fun. It was Hamilton, P2, and I like that Lewis was so excited for George. Even if it was, you know, for PR. He seemed so excited for his teammate, and that's wholesome and good. Ferrari, Leclerc, like, begging the team to give him the spot. Please think about the championship. Every point counts. I thought it was so funny. Yeah. Please think about the championship, guys. No, you can't, like, maybe if it was, like, 4th and 5th, they could have been like, oh yeah, we can switch them around. But when it's for a podium place, you can't be like, hey, tell my teammate to give me their trophy, like, their podium spot. Like, that's not okay. I get it. Leclerc was trying. He tried. They said no. And then he tried again. And they still said no. They were never going to give him that spot because they're not going to take someone off the podium. Unless it's, like, the last race and it matters. But it doesn't... It's not that important right now. If I was, like, going to make... And nobody... Listen, Charles. You might care, but nobody else cares about P2 in the Drivers' Championship. Maybe in the Constructors' Championship they'd care more because, you know... Constructors... they get more monies. But for Drivers' Championship, no one's gonna be like, oh yeah, remember the person who came P2 in the Drivers' Championship in 2022? Nobody's gonna be saying that. I promise. Oh, back to Mercedes. I totally forgot. Lewis Hamilton, driver of the day. I have thoughts about that. I don't think he should have gotten it. My driver of the day was Fernando Alonso, personally. I know a lot of people are saying Leclerc because he went from the back of the grid and he drove his way through. Same is said about Alonso. I do think Alonso deserved the driver of the day. But I think what happened was, it's in Brazil. Lewis is huge in Brazil, and Lewis fans all voted for Lewis, but then people who aren't fans of Lewis voted for a bunch of different people. Like, some of us voted for Alonso, some of us... Not that, like, I hate Lewis or anything, don't get me wrong, because I don't want Lewis fans to now come at me for saying not a fan of Lewis. He's just not one of my favorites. Okay. Because I know how Team LH is, you know. You guys know. They're scary, and I don't want them to hurt me. By bullying me online. I'll cry. I won't actually. But, yeah. Some of us voted for Alonso, some of us voted for Charles, some of us voted for, I don't know, whoever else they voted for. George Russell, maybe, you know, because he won. And he didn't really do anything wrong. But all of the Lewis fans were like, Lewis, driver of the day. Even though, like, he had a good race. But I don't think he deserved driver of the day. My vote was Alonso. And that ties nicely into Alpine. Alonso had a great race. Finishing P5 was a really great result for Alonso. This does put him only 5 points behind Ocon, and I'm an Ocon fan, but I do think that Alonso will beat him in the Drivers' Championship. If SD could have a killer race and just get way more points and secure his spot in P8 in the Drivers' Championship, that'd be awesome. But I don't think it's going to happen. I do think Alonso is going to do better than him next race and last race. And yeah, I think Alonso will pass him in the championship. Unfortunately. Unfortunately for me. Great for Alonso. But I'll be sad about it. Red Bull. Max, in like a matter of seconds, took from Ocon the worst teammate award. It was Ocon's award for earlier this weekend, and now it was given to Max Verstappen. The internet is so mad at Max for the whole not listening to team orders and not giving the place back. Even Max fans are pretty upset about it. And as a Max fan, I don't know. I don't understand. It's 2 more points than you'd get if he got 2 more points than he would have gotten if he swapped. I don't understand. I know the rumors. Yeah, so there are rumors about Monaco that Perez was still in contention for the Drivers' Championship, and he purposefully crashed in Monaco so that Max couldn't put it on pole. And there have been a lot of different sources that have said that that's what they've heard from the paddock. It's like been going around the paddock. There have been a lot of rumors, and people are saying, looking at the data, there was a whole YouTube video about it. Someone put all the data and stuff, which supports that Perez did in fact throw. Apparently he did in fact throw Monaco and purposefully crash. I'm not gonna believe it. Like, it's definitely a possibility, but I won't believe it as fact until I see proof that it happened. I know Max did say, he did give kind of like in an interview, he gave kind of like a not answer where he was like, you decide for yourself if that's the reason why, like with a smirk, you know? So kind of whether or not the rumor is true, it seems that Max does in fact believe that it's true and did not want to give him place. Yeah, if if Perez gets beaten by Leclerc by a point, oh my god. Yeah, he'll be mad. We'll see what happens next year with Red Bull. It's just funny that people are so surprised that Max is like this. As if Max hasn't always been kind of like a brat. He's always kind of been a brat. I like his personality. I think he's very blunt and does whatever he wants, and I think it's kind of fun. But I'm not all surprised that this was his reaction and that he's upset about something that happened in Monaco. Like, I'm not so surprised about it. People are. I'm not. Max has always been like this. He's always been very competitive and very, like, hyper aggressive and like, hi, you wanna come over here? Sorry, there's a cat. Come here. Come back. She's gone. Never mind. Checo's onboard from Monaco looks sus. Yeah, exactly. It does look sus, but I'm not gonna say for sure that's what he did until, like, I know for sure that's what he did. But it's pretty... Max has the championship won. He'd only be getting 2 less points. It's not like it affects him. So the fact that he didn't do it, it's kind of like... Really? Really, Max? It's pretty shitty, but, like... I'm not surprised. Oh, there's just another side now. Come here. Here's your little kitty. You're trying to get over here, huh? Here she is. Oh. Hi. She went to this side, realized she couldn't get to me from this side, then went to that side. What a cutie. Yeah, Max should have... What are you doing? Should have just given the place back. But he gave his reasons. Do you guys not understand? He already gave his reasons. I think part of Max's thinking was also like, I would have overtaken him anyway without the team orders for Perez to let me past. So why should I have to give the place back? But he should have. He should have been a team player because Checo was a huge team player last year and definitely helped him with that championship last year. Alfa Romeo, Valtteri finishing and getting 2 points. Good job. Zhou, what really happened with Zhou during this race? Not that much. Not too much. But yeah, Valtteri had a good race. I think part of the problem with... Hi, thank you. She's kissing me. She's giving me kisses. She loves to lick. I don't know why. She's like a dog. Hi, Barcode! But part of Perez's issue... Hi, cat. Everyone's saying hi to you and you're not even looking. Can you see her? Can you see hers? There she is. She's looking directly into the light. Okay. She's so cute. Alpine. Okay, this is the... I'll put it back so it's not just looking at my boobs and my cat. Not just kitty and titties. You can see my face now. I'm going to, once again, be the Ocon defense attorney. Everyone is taking his radio message out of context. He never said he wasn't going to give Alonso the place, and he did give him the place. He was just racing, and you know when you're racing and driving fast, your tone of voice is not always calm and happy and sounding very polite. He was saying, hold on, let me pass Vettel, and then, let me race Vettel, let me focus on this, and then I will let him pass. And that's exactly what he did. But the internet is saying, he said, no, let us race. He didn't say let us race, he said let me race, as in let me race Vettel, so I can get past Vettel, and then I'm not going to defend against Alonso. And that's what his engineer said. I don't want you defending against Alonso, making it very clear. And he said, I'm not. But nobody hears that. They just hear him say, no, let me race. That's not what he was saying. He was saying, no, let me race Vettel. Okay? Okay. That said, it was a great result for the team. Alonso had an absolutely amazing race. Driver of the day, IMO. And he still let him through, exactly, because he said he would. He just wanted to clear Vettel first, and he did. That's exactly what he did. I know I get worked up, but like, he knew his teammate had the new softs, and he was on old tires. He knew it. He knew this. But people want to like tear into him for one radio message that they're completely twisting what he said. Very annoying. Alonso had a great race. I think great strategy, great everything. Alonso, good job. GG's. Ocon also had a pretty decent race. P16 to P8? Yeah, P8. Very good. Very, very good. He wanted some time to see if he could advance him along. Yeah, he said, let me get past Vettel first, because that's what he was thinking. He even said that. He's like, I'm just trying to get past Vettel. That's how I'd say it. I'd be crying in the car. But like, I just don't understand why people are taking it so out of context. Aston Martin, Seb was also on the wrong tires at the end. Honestly, that's really what it came down to. He was on the wrong tires at the end, and he unfortunately got passed by a lot of people, including his teammate, Lance Stroll, who got that last point. I mean, Lance had a good race. Lance had a decent race. Yeah. Vettel was having a great race up until that last safety car. He was amazing. I still think he had a better drive overall. Just got unlucky. But Lance capitalized on that and got that last point. Oh, where are you going? I'm sorry. She did not like that. She was upset about it. She's not a Lance fan. Not everyone in this house is a Lance fan, apparently. Just because Urza sure isn't. Who's next? Who's next to talk about? Williams? Sure, let's do Williams. Williams. Okay, I guess we'll like do a little bit of AlphaTauri while we talk about Williams, because during that safety car, the Williams were both, it said cars 23 and 9, Alex Albon and Nicholas Latifi, the two Williams, can unlap themselves. But Yuki Tsunoda's there, also lapped. They said, you can't unlap yourself, Yuki. Not allowed. So Yuki is just doing his own thing. Not allowed to unlap himself. So far behind everyone. So Latifi didn't come last, so that's good for him. Poor Yuki. The FIA just said, we don't care about that one. And Pierre, we didn't really see much of either. I think I saw him when Valtteri was passing him. Yep. Yeah, not much of Pierre. Haas, I feel so bad. Like, absolutely, like, gutted for K-Mag. K-Mag deserved better. Even if he wasn't gonna get a point or any points, I still think he could have gotten a point, potentially. Maybe not, but maybe he could have. It was possible. Maybe if they didn't crash, someone else would have crashed. Someone higher up, right? We never know what would have happened. I don't know. But yeah, I felt so bad. He had such a good weekend up until then, and then he was out of the race. And Mick got up to, I don't have the results right in front of me, hold on. Let's look. I'm putting him up. Did he end in 12? I'm probably wrong. I always assume I'm wrong. Let's get the results. This is why I was like, oh, what team are we looking at next? Because I didn't have the results right in front of me. I only had George Russell's face in front of me. Oh no, 13th. Sorry, Joe was 12th. So Mick ended up in 13th. I don't think he did particularly bad. I think he's in a Haas, so it's hard to do particularly well in a Haas without, you know, some luck of the weather. Unfortunately. And McLaren is the last, right? We went over everyone else. Ferrari. We talked about Mercedes, talked about Red Bull, Alpine, Alfa Romeo, Aston Martin, Haas, Williams. Yep, last one, McLaren. Both drivers did not finish the race, which is a shame. It sucks extra for Daniel Ricciardo because recency bias is such a huge thing in this sport, in most sports, but especially in Formula One. People are not going to remember Daniel Ricciardo's Red Bull days where he was doing well, even when he was doing well in the Renault. People aren't going to remember that. People are going to remember him in the McLaren doing poorly, DNFing, not having a great 2 seasons, just not doing it, and basically being forced to retire. Not retire, but probably retire. I don't think he's coming back. But if K-Mag can, if K-Mag can come back, he came back after taking some time off, but he was racing in another series. If Alonso can come back, it's possible that never should have left Renault. I know. People say it was a mistake to leave Red Bull. I think it was a mistake to leave Renault because that team loved him. That team really backed him and he was doing so well there. That was his team. And that's what he wanted, you know? That was his team. And he left for McLaren. And it's just... You know who never had any beef with Ocon? Daniel Ricciardo. They got along as teammates. I don't think he's going to come back for 2024. Because, where's he going to go? He's not going to go to... I guess maybe if he is a reserve driver for Red Bull and Yuki doesn't perform next year, I guess he could go into the AlphaTauri. But do you really want to be in the AlphaTauri? Do you want to be driving for the, sister team of the team that you left? I don't know. That's the only place I could think of for him to go. Because Nico Hulkenberg is probably going to be in the Haas. I hope he stays. For selfish reasons, for simping reasons. I love him. So attractive. Oh, so attractive. I'll be so happy. We can talk about, the fact that, I don't know if you guys listened to the radio messages at the end. Mick Schumacher's race engineer said, "We have one more go." Hold on, I'm gonna find it. One more go at it. So, that kind of implies that he's not gonna be at the team next year, and there have been rumors. I'm not gonna say that it's for sure, but there have been rumors that Nico Hulkenberg is in fact going to be at Haas. That is pretty much a done deal. Which, of course, I'm not going to get my hopes up about until I see it. I know people are unhappy about it. I think I'm the only one who's happy about it because I love Nico. But yeah, that pretty much implies that he's not going to be with the team next year. So, sucks for Mick, but it really sucks. I don't think he should be out of the sport. I don't think he's done poorly enough to be out of the sport in the car he's in. But if he is, that's just how it goes sometimes. He's young enough that he can take a year out and come back. Ocon did it. But Daniel Ricciardo, on the other hand, is not. He does not have the luck of being young. He is not young at all. He's not old, but for a racing driver, he's on the older side. Yeah, so I don't think he will be coming back. Mick could come back later on, but yeah, that's it for talking about the race.